Be left alone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog, and today I have another book review for you, and it is Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book of the Morrigan Crow series. I have read and reviewed the first. If you haven't seen that video, the link is above me now. Jazz over at Red Panda Reads lent me this book and she'll be very happy, I think, with my review of it. Before we get into reviewing this book, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you want to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. Your continuous support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. As always, I will read you guys the blurb first. If you want to belong, you have to believe. Morrigan Crow has escaped her deadly curse and joined the Wondrous Society, a place she can finally belong. But the magical city of Nevermore isn't the safe haven Morrigan imagined. Someone is poisoning her friends against her. Society members are disappearing, and the evil Ezra Squall is determined to show Morrigan the true nature of wonder, something that's becoming ever harder to resist. Will Morrigan's dream of escaping her cursed life end before it's truly begun? Ew. So this is a middle grade fantasy. It's super easy to read, and even though it is middle grade, it actually deals with exceptionally adult issues, especially regarding racism. Highly recommend it. Really easy read, tackles very big issues, but in a child-friendly manner. As always, I will start with spoiler-free as possible, and then I will give you guys a warning for spoiler alert and give you a time to skip to if you wish to avoid any spoilers. But let's begin. I'll first of all have a few quotes for you. First of all, on page 35, Squall didn't do the things he did because he was a Wundersmith, Hester. He happened to be a Wundersmith and a psychopath. Unfortunate combination. I absolutely adore that quote because honestly, it's kind of what I use in real life. You know when someone's being really racist and stereotyping people based on someone in history and you're like, no. I just love it. And the fact that he ends it with unfortunate combination, perfection. Page 66. Morrigan didn't like the sound of the goal-setting and achieving club for highly ambitious youth, which met on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday evenings and all day Sunday. But she thought she could probably get on board with introverts utterly anonymous, which promised no meetings or gatherings of any sort ever. Where can I sign up? That sounds like a fantastic group. You're in a group, but you don't have to see anyone or talk to anyone or go anywhere. Be left alone. On page 107, meet me in my study right away, JN. This is a letter to Morrigan, and it's followed by a second letter, which is I have food, JN. I just love how much Jupiter knows Morrigan. So he's asked Morrigan to meet him in his office, but Morrigan of course is like, oh, do I have time to quickly go to the kitchen and grab some food first? To which someone's given her the second letter, which says he already has food. It's as if he's talking to me. If I'm hungry, I'm not coming to that meeting. I must be fed first. So I just love that. It's just a really sweet, heartwarming thing. And also Morrigan loves food, and as does Jupiter, and it's sort of like a way that they connect together is like through meeting over food, and I just find it so sweet and lovely. Page 124. Nobody's going to hold your little handsies or wipe your little nosies, yet they were quite happy to break your little handsies apparently. This is when Arch is late to class because in his previous class they were breaking their hand to then practice putting them back together. It's so funny because when they started at the academy, that is what the teacher said, is you're not going to be mummy-cuddled, basically no one's going to look after you, but they're very happy to hurt you. On page 128 and 129 they have an exam, and basically they're given a start and an end point to find in the city using landmarks. Now is it just me, or is this basically playing a Ticket to Ride? If you haven't heard of A Ticket to Ride, it is a board game where you have to build train lines and you're given two landmarks and you have to get between these two places and make a line. You have to do 3 and then you get given more, but there is a limit to how long the game can go on for. And that's basically what they're doing, is they have a start point and an end point and they have to get there somehow. Page 261. Ildrith Murder Garden, Francis said, clicking his fingers. It's got almost any poisonous plant you could think of. I've bought death caps from there before. They have a little shop. Morrigan wrinkled her nose. What are death caps? Poisonous mushrooms are actually rather tasty in very, very small doses. You bought poisonous mushrooms, Maher said, blinking at him, from somewhere called a murder garden. Francis shrugged and said again, they have a little shop. It's just so sweet and childlike, and yet they're talking about murderous, poisonous mushrooms. So this book is just it's so fun. It's so full of these two extremes of really child-friendly, happy, sweet, and then really not at the same time. Now, I'm going to say spoiler alert here. If you don't want any spoilers, please skip to this time here for my overall review. Spoiler alert. So it's not until page 270 that the notorious huntsmen appear. The huntsmen are what Ezra Squall uses to get into Nevermore to see Morrigan. So this is the villain appearing from the first book, and it's taken till page 270, which, if we look at this book, I mean, it's quite technically large, but it has large writing. 270 is roughly here. So you've basically almost 3/3 of the way through the book before the main villain arrives. Now, for most books, this would be unforgivable, and most readers would have stopped reading. But because Morrigan Crow is new to Nevermore, like the reader is new to Nevermore, the book keeps you interested. And even though the huntsmen don't appear till here, there's things going on. There are obstacles and problems in Morrigan's life, which ultimately do make sense at the end and link things together, but you're not frustrated that it took to page 270. Whereas in other books I've read, that would just drive me mad. Because for most books, this would be bad pacing, it would be too slow. But for some reason, in Wundersmith, it works. And welcome back if you're here from the spoiler-free zone. We're now going to do the overall review of the Wundersmith. Overall, from reading the first book and then reading the second one, like what Harry Potter used to be, this book grows with the reader. So if you started to read this when you were younger and then you read the second one, the characters are older, and there is a third, and I believe that's going to do the same again. So it gets slightly more nitty-gritty. It gets a bit more in your face with the more adult things creeping in there. It's really good writing technique to, if you're writing a middle grade fantasy, to age with your readers. It's a very character-driven book. You really know the characters inside out. It's very safe because it is a middle grade. There will always be somewhere Morrigan can go to, and yet at the same time, they are in very life-threatening situations, and especially in this one, it's getting a lot more freaky and getting a lot more tense and on the edge of your seat because it could go very badly. But the good thing about it as well is that Jessica Townsend makes Morrigan react in the same way a child would react to a situation. There are situations in this book where you read it and you're like, why would you do that? Or why would you be annoyed by that? That's really childish. And then remember, oh yeah, she is a child. So it's really good. If you're writing a book for a younger audience, you want beta readers who are a younger audience, and if they agree with your protagonist, then you've done that well, which I believe Jessica Townsend has managed to achieve. It's also very good at showing through the use of internal dialogue. Morrigan is thinking all the time about what's going on around her, so you as the reader are very much in tune with her thoughts and know what's going on. Ultimately, I found like 2 typo errors, which in fairness, for a book that is this famous, you wouldn't expect to find, but it didn't put me off and I just really enjoyed the book. I thought it was fantastic world building as always, because Nevermore is just a fun place to escape to. You really get to know the world as Morrigan does, the characters are great, the plot is developing, the characters are growing. I loved it. So I would give this book a 10 out of 10 stars. I'm sure Jazz will be very happy about that. I like it. Very much looking forward to reading the next one, so thank you for already lending me that. Matt's already finished it. I'm going to read that next. Pick this up. If you know any middle grade readers, get it for them for their birthday or Christmas, and if you yourself just need a nice escapism fantasy read with lovely sound and food, and yet it's still epic, it gets you on the edge of your seat, it could go either way, then I really recommend The Tales of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. And that's it for my Wundersmith book review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram or Tumblr. I post more bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!